Craft Brews and Casual Conversations. My guest this week is a longtime, lifetime listener, second to Chad. I would say Chad's number one. You can be number two. His name's Brent. We're drinking a porter. This is Dudes with Brews on a porch.
Well, looks like it's time to dive into another great beverage. It's Dudes with Brews on a porch. Gonna check in with my friend Drew for this week's episode. Who's he gonna talk to? What are they gonna talk about? And what will they drink? What are you waiting for? Get your ass off the lawn and come on up to the porch. It's Dudes with Brews.
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you for having me.
Now you got to talk like a little closer.
Thank you for having me.
There you go. Perfect. So you're new to the game. You've listened before, and a couple of rules you had before we kicked the show off was you can't drink an IPA. So I want to ask you a couple questions first. What's wrong with you? Because IPAs are delicious, and something bad must have happened in your life. But we'll get to those details.
We sure will.
Let's talk about this beer that we're going to be drinking. We're going to be drinking a porter, the City Lights Brewing Company in Milwaukee. I've never heard of them. Have you?
Never heard of them.
Milwaukee's got a good place, a lot of places for beer. So this is a new one to me. It's a coconut porter, which should be good. It says bright, pleasing malt character is cradled in a soft, cushiony, smooth mouthfeel that glides easily down the throat at each swallow. That's what I've also been described as that sometimes.
It has somewhat of like a coffee smell. Has somewhat of a coffee smell.
Does it? I mean, yeah. Porters usually do. Yeah, you can. Holy shit, you can really smell the coconut though in it too.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm going to take a sip in a second, but let's continue to talk about it. Lip smacking hints of coffee. Look at you called it before we even talked about it. Man, and
I
chocolate.
got a nose. I got a good nose.
You got a good schnoz. And chocolate readily move across the tongue as the dark body gives up its aromatic coconut roastedness.
I can smell the roastedness. Maybe that's part of the coffee.
The addition of the Madagascar vanilla comes through to the finish to round out the sweetness of this delicious beer. It is 5.3 ABV, 35 on the IBUs, so it's not bitter.
Perfect.
Let's give it a shot. That's definitely some Madagascar vanilla, if I do say so myself.
Let me just I gotta process.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge beer drinker, so I don't initially have one thing that stands out. I can taste, I would say, the roasty coffeeness of it in the aftertaste for sure. Yeah,
you can get I get the coconut. It's not overpowering. I thought it'd be stronger just based on the smell of it. You get the vanilla to it as well. Definitely smooth. It's not like a heavy beer.
I do taste the vanilla as well. The most absent in the description is the coconut. I don't taste that very much
really?
At all. Yes.
You can smell it really good. But yeah, like it based off the smell, you'd think it's a little stronger.
I guess you have to search for it. There's two strong flavors in there, with the coffee and the vanilla already. The coconut does not stand out as much as you may think just by reading the can.
Yeah, I know. I would agree. So you don't like IPAs, and you said you have a story.
I do. So I used to be a much bigger drinker. I started my drinking phase quite young. As you know, I mean, you're 4 years older than me, and you were really good friends with my brother growing up. And
right.
When you have an older brother growing up and you're 4 years apart,
I'm 4 years older than you?
That's if you're the same age as Craig.
Yeah, I'm 28.
That's kind of like the sweet spot where it was like any older, I probably wouldn't have been hanging out with you guys.
Right.
But that's like the cutoff where it's like, fine, you can come with us.
How old is Kayla?
She's 21, 20. She might be 22. I don't know. 22 maybe now.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah. She's got to be 22. Yeah.
I've known her since she was a little kid, and yeah, I think I do recall there was a time where she was like hanging out with us, and I was like, this is weird.
See, and that's the same with me. Even though there's a smaller gap between me and my sister than there is between me and Craig, it was still more weird for me to be hanging out with Kayla. Don't know why. Maybe it's a guy-girl thing.
Maybe it's just a Kayla thing.
Maybe it's a Kayla thing.
She'll never listen to this, so she won't hear us. So.
I don't know. I did mention this podcast to her yesterday. She asked me where I could listen to it, what podcast app you use.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know. We might be onto something. Anyways, let's get to this story.
Yeah, let's do that.
I started drinking when I really was interested in drinking at probably when I was 12, but that's not when I started drinking. I was experimenting with stealing like an O'Doul's from my friend's grandma's fridge.
Sure.
And we'd go drink it in the woods. And we'd pile sodas on top to mask that we had
Sure.
an O'Doul's. But with that, when you do get the chance to actually drink real beer, you're going to take it.
Right.
So I would say maybe like 14, 15 was when I started getting that more opportunities to drink. It was definitely before I could drive. And beer was my choice for sure.
Okay.
So anyways, once I started having more options to buy beer, I did enjoy drinking IPAs, and I wanted something a little stronger, a little more tasty, not Miller Lite, Coors Light, And I actually worked with this guy that was super into beer, and he had so many suggestions that there was going to be no way I could possibly try.
Okay.
Half of what he was going to suggest to me. But one day I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm going to be at a fire at a friend's house. I have no idea what I want to drink, but I know I want to drink a beer, and I think I want to try out some different IPAs. And he suggested this Lagunitas.
Lagunitas?
Yeah.
I love Lagunitas.
Yeah, he suggested that, and so I got a 6-pack of that, and I also got a 6-pack of Old Chub. Have you had Old Chub?
No.
It's pretty intense.
Old Chub, huh?
Old Chub, yeah. It's
that was
like
my nickname in high school. There's Old Chub.
I was Young Chub. Because I'm 4 years younger.
Right. They called me that for more ways than one, Ooh.
I feel you. Anyways, I took 2 6-packs of IPAs, and this is pretty early on my adventure into beer.
Which is weird because when I started, drinking beer, it was Coors Light, Red Dog, Bud Light. So you're going for the taste buds right away. You're like,
oh yeah, but I had already tried all those because I had been hanging with you guys. And Red Dog reminds me of Madison for sure.
The state
the city.
The city. The city
in our state. Yes.
Yes, right.
Anyways, I'm at a fire with 2 6-packs, so 12 IPAs.
Okay.
And I am used to crushing,
Yeah, you can't crush them.
I'm used to crushing at least a 6-pack.
Sure.
6 to 8 beers at a fire of, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever it may be.
Right.
Well, I went with the same mentality that night to just...
I think I vaguely remember this.
Crush the same amount of beers as I normally do, and loved the taste of them. Really loved everything about them until all of a sudden I just was so overwhelmingly fuzzy in the head and drunk that I didn't realize what hit me, and had one of the worst hangovers of my life the next day, and was puking, and I could some taste that I got from puking really yes,
that's sad.
It scarred me forever, and I've tried IPAs since then, but it's
like some PTSD stuff right there.
I have PTSD.
That's kind of how I am with just like hard alcohol. I can't handle it. I don't enjoy it. I don't understand why people take shots, and it might have even stemmed. I don't think I've had tequila maybe once since my wedding.
Don't get me on tequila. I see, that's my drink of choice. Actually,
I have a bottle of tequila from Mexico sitting on top of my fridge that I got like a week or two after my wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, from Roberto, and I still haven't drank it. It's still sealed.
You had a really fun wedding, by the way.
Yeah, it was a good time. I threw up on the bar door.
I vaguely recall that.
And I told people I didn't want any more, and they kept giving me shots, and I ran out the door. I threw up all over my shirt. Don't know where that shirt ended up. I'm pretty sure in the garbage. Our marriage license ended up in the garbage.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody was just so intoxicated, so drunk that we go to clean up and fucking the thing ends up in the garbage. We pull it out. We look at it. And it has to be in black ink. It can't be in any other color.
Yeah.
It has to be in black. Baltz, our officiate, Matt, who's been on the show a couple times, he signed it in blue.
Ooh.
But then he spelt the word wrong, and then he like made bubble letters. And then he tried to trace over the blue.
Amazing.
It was a shit show. And I brought it to the courthouse, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't take this. It's torn to shreds. You got to trace it over letters and everything like that." So then, like one afternoon, I had to run around town to get everybody's signature again.
Wow,
it was a good story. But yeah, anyways, it was a good time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So all you had to do was just re-sign it.
Yeah, they just gave you
make it more professional.
Gave me another copy, and everybody re-signed it. And it was official. That was almost 6 years ago, man.
Wow,
it's a long time.
6 years ago.
So you would have been.
I was living in Colorado at that point.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
I forgot you did that.
I came back early for your wedding.
Yeah, around Christmas time it was.
Yes.
And then you danced with my sister-in-law.
I danced with your sister-in-law. Haven't seen her since. Haven't talked to her since.
She lives in France, in Paris.
Wow.
Yeah, she goes to med school.
Really, in Paris, France.
Yeah, she speaks fluent French and is dating a French dude.
Good for her.
Not named Pierre, unfortunately.
Good for her.
I don't even think his name is Jacques. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I know. Sierra was pretty drunk at your wedding too.
Mm-hmm.
I got her a few Mike's Hard Lemonades in a row.
Yeah, that was before I really explored the world of beer, where I thought the greatest beer ever was Spotted Cow. And up until, a year and a half ago, I still thought it was the greatest beer, and I've had all these other ones, and Spotted Cow ain't nothing compared to a lot of the ones that I've had.
I agree. Spotted Cow's good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but I prefer an IPA, man. Have you had a real a thick hazy IPA?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't like them.
Yes, and like I said, I used to be really into those flavors.
Mm-hmm.
I used to. I honestly don't know what exactly it is about them.
Well, it's kind of like eating ramen noodles. I ate so many ramen noodles in my life, and now I never want to eat them again. Maybe, I don't know, but I can never have too many IPAs.
Yeah. Okay. True. Yeah. That's a good. What is it?
Analogy?
Is that a simile or an analogy?
I think it's like an analogy. It
analogy.
could be a simile. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had a lesson in that type of stuff.
I think actually this has gotten brought up on your podcast. What is the difference?
I don't know if there is. Simile and metaphors. Metaphor. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. There's got to be a difference. It's different words.
Well, a metaphor.
Metaphor is like saying you're comparing something to something.
Yeah, but it can be subliminal. A metaphor can be subliminal.
Right.
Whereas an analogy,
like where you say, "I'm going to put you in the grinder," or something like that. That's a metaphor.
Metaphor for
a metaphoric grinder that you're going to put somebody in. It's not real.
You will get fucked up in some sort of way.
Huh? Maybe I'll have to learn that. But other things that are going on in your life. You just became an uncle for the first time.
I did become an uncle.
How's that feel?
How do I describe this? It's I'll start with the good. When I have her name is Sadie.
Mm-hmm.
When I have her in my arms, all I feel is love for her.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool experience because she's so tiny. I've never held that small of a baby. You know, the day she was born.
Right.
And she is very fragile, and I can tell she's going to grow quick.
Right.
And that'll be a cool experience to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it is very weird that to be like when people congratulate me for being an uncle, it's like they're essentially congratulating me that my brother fucked some girl. and then that's
how it works.
She gave birth, so it's like I don't get where I come into that.
You don't.
Exactly.
It's just by association through conception and through a marriage. You have a sister-in-law and now a niece.
Yeah, and babies don't really get me. Like I said, when I have her in my arms and I'm holding her, it's really cool experience. Mm-hmm. And knowing that she is my brother's, that's a cool experience.
Right.
But I don't get baby fever like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say everybody else, but a lot of people around me especially get baby fever.
Well, right now, yeah. Because she's pretty, fresh out the womb.
Yeah, and it's like, you know how many of these are born every day? This isn't...
Quite a bit.
Yeah, this isn't like some miracle. People say birth is a miracle. It's not a miracle.
Birth is terrifying.
It's
like, so I don't want to invade too much on there and give out a lot of their information, but she had to get an emergency C-section, which is pretty, those happen every day.
Correct.
But it's terrifying. They're going to cut you open and pull a kid out of you.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that too is like some girls are more scared of not having a C-section. Some girls are more scared of...
That's painful.
Of the baby coming out naturally.
Yeah. I've watched 2 people give natural birth and it's weird.
From my perspective as a man, I can't imagine that if I had a vagina that I would want that big of...
Ooh. Right. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. I just can't imagine what that would be like.
Well, yeah, we can't fathom it. I mean, that type of pain, obviously. My sister has given birth 3 times. 3 times. I don't think she's had a C-section. I don't know if she had a C-section her 3rd time. She might have. But the first 2, all natural, no epidural.
Wow.
100% like all natural, straight pushing. Yeah, I wasn't in the room because hell no. But I don't know how she did it, and I don't know how any woman in the world can give birth because it seems horrible, and it's scary. There's so many things that can go wrong. I think the odds of things going wrong are higher than something going easy.
Yeah, and that's why they have other methods,
right?
Like your umbilical cord could be wrapped around your neck.
Yeah, my son's was.
Yeah.
Which was terrifying because I saw the oxygen going down. The oxygen levels were going down.
Yeah, can't breathe.
And the doctor had twisted him around because he was coming out face down.
Okay.
So the doctor, I don't know how you do it, but he goes up in there and shifts him
that's
around.
got to be tight too. Yeah. I mean, it's already as spread as it can get, and then you got to shove
a hand up in there. Yeah. And he... That's when his level started going down because he wrapped his cord around his neck, essentially, and that's terrifying. I mean, thankfully, everything's fine.
For sure, yeah.
But I saw her the other day. I held her for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I get really weird. Like, I used to love holding babies, and then now I just don't like holding other people's babies really that much. I'll play with an older kid.
You have had your own babies to hold.
That's true. Yeah. And to me, it's just I've done this, but here you go.
Yeah. It's a one-time quick get it done thing.
I think it's funny.
I'll hold her quick and then I'm over it.
There's all these people. I've been going through my 10-year Facebook. I'm in a group for the 10-year anniversary of when I graduated. And I'm going through kind of just browsing these profiles of people that I've used to talk to or have kind of know, and all these people have kids, and I was like, oh yeah, that person made fun of me for having a kid early and stuff like that. And I think at the 10-year reunion, I'm gonna throw back every insult they ever gave to me when they talk about their kids.
Yeah.
Like when they go, oh yeah, my daughter, and be like, oh, why would you have a kid? That's stupid. What a waste of a life. And we'll see how then people probably won't be too fond of me. I won't be voted most liked at the reunion. I think I want to take the load road on this.
You never know how often you talk to those people.
Never.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some of the people really
get in their head.
Just really fuck with them.
Just really fuck with them.
Some people
tell them you're into the Church of Scientology.
Try to recruit them. Don't we have a Scientology church, don't we?
Where would it be?
Isn't it on Johnson? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know about that. I don't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know.
We live in an somewhat odd area.
A lot of churches, a lot of bars.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord and praise the hops.
Praise science.
Yeah, but other than that, what's going on in your life? Anything exciting?
Well, I'd say the most exciting thing for me coming up is I'm gonna take a road trip to Utah. With my girlfriend. Are
you gonna find isn't that where all the Mormons are?
Yes, absolutely. Not what we're going for. Oh, but that is where they are. My friend's family is full of Mormons. They are.
Oh, really?
They're all in Utah. Yeah.
For real?
Yep.
Crazy.
Anyways, we're gonna be snowboarding. She's never been out to the mountains to snowboard.
Is she a skier?
She snowboards.
She snowboards. Okay. Yep. I recently saw you two kind of posing in
for Attitude Sports. Yeah.
You guys are models now?
No, we well, I guess in a sense, yeah. If you want to, I mean, that's what we were doing. We were modeling for them. But no, that's cute. That's like I won't say like a one-time thing, but that's specific. I will only do that for Attitude Sports, kind of in a way to help them promote their products.
Yeah.
I think they have some really nice outerwear and equipment.
I don't think too many people from close to here actually listen to this program. A lot of people out of states, but you want to hear some stuff about Utah?
So I was plugging them for no reason.
Oh, you can plug them.
No, I wasn't trying to. Let's hear some stuff about Utah.
The Mormon Temple in Salt Lake City took 40 years to complete. 40. The Mormon Temple temples in St. George, Monty, and Logan, Utah were completed before the Salt Lake Temple, in case you wanted to know.
When was the Salt Lake Temple started?
I don't know. It took 40 years, though.
That's a long time.
It is. The average snowfall in the mountains near Salt Lake City, 500 inches.
That's a lot of snow.
Is that where you're going? Salt Lake City?
Yes, right around there. It's actually sandy. It's just south of Salt Lake City. And we'll be riding at Snowbird, sorry.
Okay.
But we don't have really set plans per se. So we have an Airbnb in Sandy.
Have you ever done that before? Like an Airbnb? That seems weird.
I haven't done an Airbnb before.
No?
I usually have places to stay when I go out to the mountains.
Right. Yeah.
But I looked at a few of them, and they're actually really nice places. Like you can get a couple different options. Like some of the times, the places you stay, the owners will be there with you, and that is the idea I don't like about Airbnb, is that you're living with someone. Essentially. Like sometimes they'll only have rooms that you can stay in, and you have to like share a kitchen and stuff. Like I wouldn't want to do that.
That's weird. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want, because you never know who's gonna.
Exactly. I don't know them. I don't know them.
They're probably gonna murder you, most likely.
They could, is the thing.
Very true.
So there's other options where you can, and it will say all the information. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Like I picked one that it's just us there. Like it's their vacation home, and when they're not there, they rent it out on Airbnb.
Okay.
So I picked that one rather than, it might be a little cheaper if they're living there or whatever, but I think it's the $10 extra a night or whatever. Right. Is totally worth just having a private place.
I would agree. So, well, while you're not snowboarding, how about you look at some things here? So in Utah, there's a lot of things going on, but I think you should check out the Spanish Fork Weeping Lady.
Tell me more.
Well, it's a peaceful city of Spanish Fork, Utah. Hosts a noisy cemetery. In the heart of the cemetery is a beautiful and it's a unique headstone over the graves of Laura and Horace. Who
are they?
I don't know. It's a large statue of a woman who is kneeling and covering her face with her hand. Laura Faraday passed away in 1929 at the age of 32. Her grieving husband chose the remarkable statue of a grave marker, and then so it looks weird, and then it's even
covering her face in like disappointment. Like,
why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So strange.
I knew we'd end up dead.
Stranger than the statue itself is the ancient legend that surrounds it. Some say that if you walk around the cemetery at night, the figure wails. Why?
Yeah.
It weeps and mourns. Others say that when it rains, the statue itself cries. Well, that's just a wet statue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not true. And you can see water seeping out of the statue's hand. There's probably a
crack in it.
Right.
And you know what? With statues, one thing I learned, I have had to pick out a gravestone before, and one thing I learned about gravestones is that if you don't get a quality gravestone,
yeah,
moisture will stick in like the inside of it. Actually, like it won't look wet on the outside, but if it gets really hot out,
yeah,
it'll start to evaporate out of there.
Oh,
and even though there's no sign that water was anywhere close in the past couple days or whatever, it will be moist.
Well, that's probably the case here. Well, you could ride on the Devil's Highway. So, we have Route 666. So the highway.
666.
So the highway has more ghosts and paranormal events than the entire Courage the Cowardly Dog show. Why is that's included in there? I would say more relevant is what is that show called? I'm going to forget about it again. There's a paranormal show.
I know Courage though. I know Courage.
There's a new one that's really good, and it's on Nickelodeon.
I don't know if I would know that then.
I don't know. It's good though. I forget what it's called. I've talked about it before on the show. I'll have to figure it out. Gravity Falls. Paranormal show, cartoon. It's sweet.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's like a kid's show. But nicknamed The Devil's Highway, stories began with a frail girl in a white dress who vanishes if you have the foolishness to pull over and ask if she needs some help. Someone who does want to ride is a Native American shaman who appears in your back seat as you're driving. More aggressive entities that you're
appears
likely
in the back seat as you're driving. That is a good way for me to just flip the car right over and end it all.
You look in the back seat and how?
yeah.
That's I think that's racist. I'm sorry. More aggressive entities that you're likely to see while driving at night is a pack of ferocious demon dogs with glowing yellow eyes. You'll want to keep driving past those. Don't stop and pet them. It's not like your dog.
No. Mowgli's, he's a little cutie.
Yeah, he's full of piss and vinegar though. Isn't he? He's pretty wild.
No,
not wild, but he's energetic.
I would say so. My sister has his brother.
Okay.
He is more energetic than Mowgli, I would say. But when they're together, they're very energetic.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen your dog.
He probably had a lot of puppy energy.
Yeah.
He's a very, very chill dude, actually.
Now he's chill.
He's chill. Yeah, he's pretty chill.
Good. So yeah, you should do that. You drive down Devil's Highway, man. That'd be pretty cool. Perhaps you'll see the most horrifying apparition to appear, which is the flaming diesel truck that barrels straight down the highway towards you.
Reminds me of some Fast and Furious type shit.
I haven't seen any Fast and Furious past Tokyo Drift.
The one that I'm thinking of is literally the next one where they're stealing. they steal a tanker full of fuel.
Oh, really?
Down a highway, and eventually they only get one of them, I think, maybe two, and then the third one blows up.
Now, this is a place that I've heard of, and I should have done a Strange Brew episode, but we can talk about it right now since you're going to Utah. I think you should stop at Skinwalker Ranch.
What is Skinwalker Ranch?
It's one of the most popular places for seeing strange things. It's a Sherman Ranch. The ranch sits on the edge of the Ute Indian Reservation, and both the Native Americans and settlers alike may have stories to tell about the land surrounding the farm. Stories include a wolf that roams the land, maybe one of those yellow-eyed fuckers. But ranchers shot at the wolf to drive it away, but it did not affect it.
Wow.
It's like a Michael Myers type thing.
It's Kevlar wolf.
Yeah, it's could be a man bear pig.
Native Americans have a lot of wolf-related stories.
Yes. Yeah, dances with wolves.
Yeah, that's someone's name.
Oh.
I think. I don't know.
I watched that movie one time. Others include balls of light that appear over the ranch. And lastly, there's the tales of skinwalkers themselves, half man, half beast, that live on the ranch. I've been described as half man, half beast.
Lately?
No.
When
Never.
When in your life?
Never.
I would
just like to think
I could see that though.
Yeah. I'm hairy.
You got a nice beard, yeah.
Thank you. Do I look Amish?
Here's the thing. I think if you were to grow that beard out to Amish length, you would. Right now, you don't at all.
Oh, thank you.
But you could grow it to Amish length. And
one of my employees at work, he's like, because I like take my glasses off sometimes, just like rub my face. And he's like, you look Amish. And
I bought my dog from an Amish guy. He used to breed cattle, and now he breeds dogs.
How do you make that switch?
So he's actually a Mennonite, so he can use some technology.
I don't know what that is.
It's an Amish person that uses like technology that helps.
Like a Game Boy?
That helps. No, he would never do that. He has like a cell phone. Doesn't have like a TV or anything, but he has like a cell phone so he can contact people. He can use the internet for like business arrangements and stuff like that. So that's how I found him. He was this guy usually had all of his dogs spoken for.
Yeah.
He's a very, very talented breeder.
Okay.
But someone backed out, so then he had to use the internet. Well, thank God he can use the internet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have, had these puppies with no one to take them.
Huh. Interesting.
Do you watch Vice?
No.
It's a
like the station.
Yeah, like a station.
I've heard of it. I've watched like some of their documentaries.
Yeah, they have some interesting. You mentioned something about like a shaman before.
Yeah.
It just reminded me. I watched this show last night, Kentucky Ayahuasca. Have you heard of ayahuasca?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Some dude so this guy like robbed banks back in the day.
Yeah.
Went to prison.
Okay.
And his cellmate was a shaman. And they got to talking about ayahuasca.
Yeah.
And he taught him his ways and everything in prison. And when he got back to Kentucky, when he got out, he had a package with a 2-liter bottle of ayahuasca, and it was marked dog shampoo. I would imagine that just so that nothing. It didn't look like dog shampoo. It was in a 2-liter Coke bottle.
Right.
But and he has these retreats, like, and I mean, as long as you have a way to like contact this guy, apparently you can go to Kentucky and do this like 2-day retreat. But like addicts go there. To like of all kinds, like sex addicts and alcoholics and people with PTSD, and he's supposed to.
What are you addicted to?
Heal you. What am I addicted to?
We all have an addiction, I think. So of some sort.
Yeah, I think I'm addicted to like being anxious. I just like can't stop being anxious. It's probably my fault.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I just think you just have anxiety.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're addicted to it.
That was just like maybe like an explanation for it.
Could be.
Yeah, I might go do ayahuasca in Kentucky, see if I can lose my anxiety.
That'd be crazy. Huh. You have to document that and let me know.
That'd be wild. I don't know. It was episode 1. I don't have
Deep
many.
In it.
Yeah, I don't have many. Like it was on TV. I think it just aired.
Okay.
So I don't have many experiences to base what actually goes on.
Yeah, that would be weird. I don't know. I think I'm addicted to food and eating.
Okay, in a good way or bad way?
Bad way.
Bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I could see that being a good thing if you were really like to like cook really good meals.
Yeah,
and
I like eating shit.
Okay.
And junk. And I have a compulsion to do so.
But do you still run?
I haven't. I've been lifting weights more often though.
Okay, where do you go?
The Y.
Okay.
The YMCA. I work out with like I don't work out with anybody, but when I'm there's a bunch of juice heads on the free weights, and then there's a bunch of old people on the machines, and I hang out on the machines with the old people. Even though one sized me up. That's straight up 65-year-old dude.
That's funny. My gym is Club Olympia, it's called.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
I would say 75% of gym goers there are over the age of 40 for sure, and I would say that of that 75%, 50% of that is over the age of 50 even.
Really?
So yeah, it's an older gym. And that's why I like it, because like if you were to go walk into this gym and no one was there, not a soul was there, you'd be like, this is intense. Like this is for bodybuilders. But no, it's exactly the opposite. Because they have like a turf section where you can, with weights by it. Then they have like a bunch of treadmills, a bunch of cardio machines. They have like bench presses, squat racks. And then they have another room with just free weights and a bunch of benches. And you would, if you walked in there, you'd be like, this is not the place for me. I'm just trying to lift weights a couple times a week.
Right.
But then you'll go, you know, at like, say like 10 in the morning or something.
Right.
And I'm always the youngest person there. I'm 24.
Really? Yeah.
And I'm always the youngest person there.
That should be good. Yeah, I haven't ran much lately. I don't like running on treadmills that much. Like now it's cold and
do you get bored?
Snowy. Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
So I just started running.
Yeah.
And I used to run outside when I did run. And I find that I can run pretty much as long as my body lets me to outside.
Right.
But once I switched to the treadmill, I lost all interest. And
yeah.
I had to force myself to get to like 2 miles.
Right. Well, because like I actually have a better pace outside than I do on a treadmill. And then, yeah, it's just like you're looking at the scene, you're looking at a screen. It's not that easy to watch TV while you're fucking running on a treadmill. And then you just look at, like, glance at people around you, and then, you know, people think you're like checking them out, and they get mad or whatever.
But really, you're just like,
I'm just glancing. It's like I have nothing.
I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm sorry. You could have a gun pointed at my face.
Yeah,
I would want to know that.
Yeah, I just don't like it, but I need to keep up with it because I want to run more half marathons next year and all that kind of stuff.
That's good.
So.
I like that you do that. That's cool because that's something that I would probably have a difficult time with. But the thing is I figured out why the treadmill is so bad. It's not necessarily that there's nothing to do and it is so boring. I mean, it is that, but when I run outside, I like to pick like something way off in the distance.
Yeah, me too.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get there.
Right.
And then I run and I'm like, oh, I made it to that pole.
Then you do another one.
Yeah, and then I pick
going.
one and it's like rewarding.
And the thing with running outside is like I usually pick trails that it's just, you know, a straight line. And the thing about it is I have to turn around and come back. Like I can't just stop. Where on a treadmill, I know, fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore, and I just stop.
Exactly.
Where like I'm running, and then all of a sudden, like it's been 3 miles, and I'm like, I have to turn around and go back.
Yeah.
And so you can get I get a better work. It's just
exactly you're forced to run a little more because it's almost impossible unless you have some sort of app that tells you. It's almost impossible to like round out which block to turn on to get to, like say you're doing like a 3 mile run.
Right.
It's almost impossible to be like, this looks like it's about 1.5 miles, so I'll run to there and then turn there. It's so hard to do that. So if you just keep running until you're like, I should probably think about heading back, a lot of times you'll already be further than you thought, which is a good thing.
Right. I just use an app, it goes with GPS and everything like that. And I can kind of like on certain trails, I know like where the mile mark is or so, just because if you do it consistently.
Yeah, until you run the route a few times, then you can start to tell that kind of stuff. But what app do you use?
The Nike app.
Nike app, okay.
I want Nike to sponsor me. I wear their shoes. I have their glasses. I use their app.
You do have Nike glasses on.
I do, and I've worn them for a while. I think they need to sponsor an average Joe. They sponsor all these other people. Why not go the average Joe or the average Drew?
Average Drew.
Just drew it.
I like that. Did you thought about that?
Hashtag just drew it. Yeah, I've used it before.
Okay.
We need like, so previously you were the biggest backer of one of my hashtag campaigns called the hashtag Get Drew on Conan.
I was.
And I don't know if you know this anymore, but Conan is changing the show. They're not doing new episodes till January or something like that. It's now going to be a half-hour format. And then I think they're only doing one guest. So I really got to step it up if I want to get on Conan.
Well, did you listen to his new podcast?
It's great.
Yeah.
And
so that might be a trade-off.
How do I need to get in contact with Conan. How do I do that?
We tried, man.
We sure did.
We tried.
A lot of people on it. So we did a hashtag called Get Drew on Conan, and we just put like random ass reasons. I wanted to be like kind of like this average thing for Nike. I want to be just an average person that gets interviewed by Conan O'Brien because he's one of my heroes. And a lot of people did it. It didn't get trending, but a lot of people did do it.
Enough that you would have thought that it
maybe could have.
It was close. It was on the edge of.
Yeah, it could have been. It was pretty good, and people put some good shit on there. But yeah, so now we gotta do hashtag just drew it.
Just drew it, yeah.
And tag Nike every time. So every time you run or you do something at Nike, be like, oh yeah, hashtag just drew it.
Well, think of how good of an ad campaign they could make off something like that.
Right.
Because when I see these hardcore athletes, I can't relate to them.
Right.
No one can that I know even.
Like they sponsor Kevin Hart. Like Kevin Hart at the end of my thing sometimes in the run. He's
a beast.
It's Kevin Hart. I'm like, you ran, son.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
He's a beast too.
Right.
He's in the gym every morning.
Fuck yeah. I mean, it's all these people. Like, you want to protect. Yeah, use them as motivation and stuff like, I thought their Colin Kaepernick ad, I thought that was actually really good. Like,
yeah.
Because it wasn't just about Colin Kaepernick. It was about all these people that have like defeated the odds and stuff like that. But fucking just drew it, baby.
Just drew it.
I mean, I'll make a commercial for them. It'd be so easy.
Well, I think if there's definitely independent projects that will do this. It will be like a person that starts from nothing and is maybe overweight or whatever it is. They have they have some sort of, they have something that's holding them back.
Right.
And then there's independent projects that will like show their progress, and then all of a sudden them becoming this like pretty well established athlete.
Yeah.
Whether it just be like they can run marathons consistently and do somewhat decent, but they started from not being able to run a mile. But the fact that they're independent projects, they don't motivate people as much as you'd think, because like you have to be so nitpicky to find them.
Right.
If someone like
to follow the whole thing.
Exactly. Whereas if someone like Nike or Under Armour or a bigger company,
Under Armour, what's their slogan?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
They're not as effective as
they're not as
Nike.
yeah. Well, they just do so much more than Nike too. Like they're in the military stuff and they are into hunting stuff, whereas Nike isn't into either of those. And
what I'm going to call this episode hashtag just drew it, and everyone needs to tag Nike and talk about it. Like, I mean, I ran my best time is 2 hours and 3 minutes for my half marathon, which isn't really. In order to get into like the Boston Marathon, like the full marathon, I think you have to run a full marathon in like 3 hours.
So what is that, like 9-minute miles ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About. But yeah, you have to have for a person my age to run the Boston Marathon, you have to qualify for it. So you have to run a marathon before the Boston Marathon at a qualifying event, and you have to maintain a 7:30 pace. Wow. Which is nuts.
That is nuts. Yes, it is. I agree.
I don't know how anyone. There's a guy named Zach Bitter who runs ultra marathons, which are 100 miles.
Yep.
And he does it in like I don't know, in a crazy amount of time. Yeah, I think he did it in he holds the record for like 7 hours, something like that.
The thing that's like running a marathon, a full marathon. Yes, that's really crazy. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I would want to do it, not because I wouldn't want to put myself through like the physical or like the cardio aspect of it.
Right.
But like physically on your body,
bad for you.
They're terrible for you. Yeah. Even a half marathon
is probably not good.
Pushing it. But if you're practicing for a half marathon, you usually don't run a half marathon to practice for it. You run I heard you're supposed to run like upwards of like 9 miles or something. I ran
10. Yeah. Like the furthest I went was 10. And I did that like 2 or 3 times before the half marathon. And it actually really helped, because the first half marathon I did this year, I only ran 7 miles. That was the furthest I went. And then I essentially doubled that.
Yeah, because it's 13:1.
Yeah. And then and I did that in 2 hours and 15 minutes. So then that was in whenever Veterans Day is. I don't know. I'm sorry to say. I don't know. I think it's in May or June.
I honestly couldn't tell you either.
I'm sorry. But
I mean, at the same time, I couldn't tell you what date Thanksgiving was either. I mean,
well, I know it's the 4th Thursday of every year, of every November.
The only holidays I know for sure are Halloween and Christmas, because they're so simple. Like they're the same every year.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Right. So, but I mean, I was able to cut almost 15 minutes, 12 minutes off of it in only a few months just by doing that, which is pretty cool. My wife's here. I can hear that broken muffler exhaust.
Sexy.
Rumbling in that driveway. Hopefully it wakes the upstairs neighbors up.
Well, I think I heard someone come in.
Yeah,
upstairs.
They were there.
Yeah.
So I've been really annoying, probably ad nauseum, and I shouldn't do it, but I really have been annoying Sierra about the house thing. And I gave her a big offer, a big trade, if she allows me to pull the trigger and get this going. We're not going to talk about it now. She's walking in. Okay. So let's change the subject. What do we do?
All right. Yeah.
So the other day I was, looking at pictures of llamas, and I was like, man, llamas are so fucking fuzzy. Oh, hey, babe. How are you?
Hi, Sierra.
Brent's here. We're just having a craft brew with a casual conversation for the podcast. We were talking about just random things.
Nothing in particular. Yeah.
Nothing in particular that would make you mad or anything like that. We weren't talking about it. Okay? Stop asking.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah.
Don't be suspicious.
You took a test? You have to stop these one-sided conversations where you talk to me, you don't have a microphone. We need to have a built-in mic at all times and record everything that happens. The good and the bad.
Cool.
Dudes with brews.
On a porch.
I've never done it on a porch yet.
And that's the funny part about it is, yeah. that part is just totally...
It's a lie.
It's just in there.
It's a straight gimmick. I'm sorry.
But it's the idea of it is what counts.
Yeah. My porch is very small and could be loud. I don't want people. I need
close enough to the street that
a lot of things happen. A lot of sketchy things happen at that gas station across the street. It's been robbed multiple times.
I don't doubt that. I really don't. There's been, in the past 5 years, there's been a couple bank robberies.
Bank robberies
in Fond du Lac.
Yeah, a couple. At least one drive-by in the last 5 years.
Okay, so here's something that your listeners might find interesting. When I was growing up, Fond du Lac was considered in the top 10 safest cities
in America.
In America,
right?
And then as I got older, I'd say honestly, within we'll just say within past 6 years or whatever, there's been, and it's not like a big city like Chicago crime or anything like that, or even Milwaukee, but compared to what it used to be, we had never had a bank robbery, we had never had shootings of any sort, and there have been a few of them within the last 6 years. So it went from never having a single one of either of those to we've had multiple now. So
now, according to a recent survey of some of the safest cities in America, number 1 is Naperville in Illinois. We got Irvine in California, Thousand Oaks in California. That just had a pretty scary incident happen. There was a shooting there.
Yeah.
Provo in Utah. Bravo? I don't know. Provo.
I don't know. Maybe I'll drive through it. You never know.
Round Rock. Carlsbad. These are all fucking California. No way.
Where I'm from is rated really dangerous.
Yeah, Fairbanks, Alaska is pretty dangerous because you know what happened? The first day that I was in Fairbanks, Alaska, the day before I got there, they found a decapitated body in the woods.
Really?
Yeah, and it's small. It's a small city.
I literally went to high school.
Bro, we just had this conversation. You can't do this.
So, number 10 on the most dangerous cities in the U.S. is Cleveland. Maybe I should get a more recent one. This is 2011, actually.
A lot of steamers in Cleveland.
We'll just go on this because it can't change that much.
It's a poop joke. Okay.
So Cleveland's at number 10.
Okay.
Tied with Minneapolis, Minnesota. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, Minneapolis is a very thriving city, but a very scary city at the same time. Another story, when I was training to be an assistant manager at Walmart, I was forced to train 10 weeks living in a hotel in Woodbury, Minnesota, which is like a suburb essentially of Minneapolis.
There's so many suburbs.
My aunt lives in another suburb of Minneapolis, so I went to visit her one time. On my way back, there's helicopters with spotlights going down on the highway because the dude just killed a cop.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Pretty wild.
How long ago was this?
This was maybe 4 years ago.
Okay, you know what's crazy? Is I was in Minneapolis probably about 4 years ago.
Yeah, and that happened?
And that happened, yeah.
Yeah, it was in it was in August.
That would have made sense because it was summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
Yes, and there was it was like a huge thing. Like the radio tuned into yes.
It was just a traffic stop.
Yeah.
And he shot a police officer and killed him.
I was in Minneapolis at that time.
Oh, really?
Doing refrigeration work, yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, because they had a bunch of rainbow food stores.
Okay, yeah.
That they were closing down. They're no longer a thing. And all the refrigerant had to
I wish I would have known that. We could have... I wasn't far away.
I was also working an 80-hour week.
That sucks.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
I actually remember it as one of the worst weeks of my life.
The worst week of my life, I don't know. I was going to try to make a joke, but...
When your goldfish died?
Yeah, I had a goldfish commit suicide one time.
How?
I don't know. Found it on the floor. On the
Really?
carpet. Dead. Yeah.
Speaking of things trying to commit suicide, an abnormal amount of birds run into my front window at home. And it's funny because my dog that's his favorite spot. Like, he will not, unless he's playing with a toy, if he's just chilling, he will be on the couch looking out that window.
Yeah.
And he'll be right there, and a bird will literally not even 2 feet away from him just come cruising into the window, and I'll hear like a doom, and my dog will just slowly turn his head and not give 2 fucks about it. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm freaking out about this. I'm like searching to see if the bird is like alive or whatever. He just like kind of tilts his head like, what an idiot. Why would anybody do that? Okay, I'm gonna read through these real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 9, Kansas City, Missouri. That one I would expect. Baltimore, I would expect that.
Huh.
Miami, I would expect to be lower than 7.
Miami? Well, yeah, there's a bunch of old people there, you'd think. Well, no, I guess there's a lot of violence and stuff in Miami.
A lot of violence in Miami.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it's the tip of Florida.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of drug trafficking.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of cocaine
from Miami.
A lot of cocaine. Okay, number 6 is Memphis, Tennessee.
Huh. All right.
Detroit, Michigan, number 5.
Yeah, I thought that would have been like higher on the in the top 10.
Well, it is top 10.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess you're right.
Okay, number 3, Birmingham. Oh, we skipped one. They go from 5 to 3. Sorry, Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Oh, this is why, because Birmingham, Alabama is tied for 3rd with Orlando, Florida, which I would not have guessed Orlando would be.
So much going on in Orlando. Disney World's in Orlando. Happiest place in the world.
Right, and I've been there like 4 times.
No, I never got hurt.
I never seen anybody got hurt.
I've only been to Disney World twice. The last time was in 3rd grade. We were watching a fireworks show, and a firework, like one of the launchers must have been right in front of me, and it just went poof, it shot, and then like my shirt essentially started on fire because of the sparks. They all got on me, and like it wasn't in like a do not stand here area.
This is at Disney
World, yeah.
Wow.
And a random stranger pulls me, grabs me, and starts slapping the shit out of my back. And I was like, what is happening?
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, he's like getting all like the sparks off my back. And then because my dad was like doing the same thing to himself at the time. Like, I don't know why he's so worried about him and not his little kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, that's a natural reaction.
True.
There's sparks all over me. I'm going to tap it out. But yeah, to get grabbed and by some stranger who might have saved my life. And
nowadays the kids would be like, that shit was fire. Number 2, Atlanta. Number 1, St. Louis, Missouri.
Really interesting.
I've heard of a lot of crime in St. Louis, but
yeah, I've been to St. Louis before. I touched the Ark, and that was it.
Never have been. Don't care to.
Yeah, I don't. I was just there on that was when we were camping. We camped in like Tennessee, Kentucky, and went to Missouri and all that. And
You didn't do ayahuasca in Kentucky?
nope, I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
I was a little kid and I wasn't aware of my demons.
Yeah,
Now I am. Would you say I have an addiction, Sierra?
Yeah.
To what?
Ooh,
fuck
Sierra
you.
says Drew has an addiction to being annoying.
Being annoying, huh? About what? What am I annoying about?
Not having
Come on, scoot over. Eating your fucking top ramen that you have an addiction to top ramen. It's weird.
It is. I actually had a craving for top ramen
right?
a couple days ago.
I'm a fan of a bottom ramen.
Dude, I was broke as fuck growing up. This was like
Broke as-
comfort food.
I agree.
She's breaking all the rules of podcasting, but I'm annoying apparently. I'm addicted to being annoying.
Oh, shut up. We're just
If just being wanting to be loved and held and caressed is being annoying, yeah. Just consider me annoying. I'm sorry. I want to feel special.
Everyone wants to feel special.
Yeah, Sierra. Don't I make you feel special?
so special.
I gotta make you feel special, don't I?
So special. That's what you said.
You're really blowing on those noodles.
They're hot as fuck.
Really blowing on those noodles.
Here's a question.
I have to go to the bathroom now.
Do you microwave your ramen or do you boil the water on a stove?
Boil the water.
Yeah,
And then you drain some of them. You can't have... Some people are like just animals.
I
and
agree.
Fucking dump the whole water in the bowl with the noodles. No,
I agree.
You dump the water out and you mix the stuff in it.
for sure. I agree.
Like
And
it's...
Cup noodles are not good.
It's not like...
They weird me out because I don't like sticking like a styrofoam cup in the
microwave.
Supposed to.
You're not... Yeah. I've seen so many accidents gone wrong
Really?
in microwaves. I've seen a lot of things go wrong. Stop talking. You don't have a microphone. Jesus. We're turning this off. It's that time.
Okay.
So, Brent, thank you for doing this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being one of the only people in our friend group of friends that we share that listens to this.
It's my pleasure.
Because not a lot of people. My wife doesn't even listen to these.
I'm going to try my hardest to recruit more, and if they don't want nothing to do with it,
do you think it's good? Do you think I do a good job?
yeah.
Keep it interesting. Keep it light, funny.
Yeah, here's the thing. You're not famous.
No.
You're not like I mean,
I don't
it's
have-
as simple as that. You're not famous. I mean,
Right.
you're not going to have like all these crazy guests
Right.
or whatever, but like
I've gotten some good ones.
actually here's a review I read about your podcast was the best way to describe it. It's like, this isn't some guy that just is, they're not just getting drunk on these beers and acting crazy. Like, they're drinking a beer, saying what they honestly think about the beer, and then they're bullshitting like I would with any one of my friends, and that's what I like about it.
What was that at?
It's on the podcast app. I think it's just like the iTunes one. The one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, it's like he was, whoever wrote it, he or she was pleased that it wasn't just like some drunk idiots talking. It was like you say what you like about the beer, and then you go into just some conversation that makes you feel like you're just talking to a buddy.
I got an email from a guy named Jonathan. He's emailed me before, and he emailed me. He had some really nice things to say about it, and it made me feel really good. And I was happy that he's from Finland. He lives in Finland, and he listens to this podcast. God knows how he found it, but I'm happy he did. And yeah, it's pretty. I talk to him every once in a while, but he was saying, yeah, he said something similar along those lines.
Cool.
So, yeah, made me feel good.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about.
Yeah,
I wouldn't worry about
fuck the
them.
haters.
Yeah, fuck the haters.
You dig?
So what did you like about the beer?
Well, we drank a City Lights Brewing Company from Milwaukee, the coconut porter. I enjoyed it. I thought there would be
More
a
coconut.
little more coconut based off the smell alone.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was overpowering. I think it was good. I got the vanilla taste out of it. I enjoyed it. You know, it's not porters are never a beer you slam or anything like that. You enjoy. I need to start like pairing some of these with food. So I should do is buy 4 of them or whatever. Do one within the episode, and then maybe in the follow-up, in the next episode, I give a little follow-up, be like, yo, I paired this with like a bomb-ass sandwich, and it was really good. I need to step up that a little bit, maybe.
Or even like, I don't think you'll run out of beers by any means to drink.
No.
But if you ever come to a roadblock, I think that would be the next step, is to start pairing a food. And then that could be part of...
Well, maybe if I ever get like a YouTube channel. Well, I do have a YouTube channel with just the audio goes on there.
Yeah.
But maybe I could do like bonus ones where we do like a little live thing. Like a video.
For sure, yeah.
A lot of things.
Joe Rogan does it all the time.
Joe Rogan's the man.
Yeah,
one of
is.
my podcasting heroes, Mark Maron. A lot of, I want to be like them.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe someday.
My final thoughts on the beer.
I say you say drink it or dump it.
Drink it for sure.
I say drink it. You liked it though?
I did, yeah.
Good.
I liked it.
And that's your final thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I tasted the same as you. I didn't taste as much coconut, but I tasted the vanilla and the coffee, and there was a roasty aftertaste that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
It wasn't too dark or thick of that aftertaste wasn't too thick.
And I think that's a stereotype that I was afraid when I first started doing this, and I was like, eventually I'm going to have to get to stouts and porters, and I thought it was just going to be like so thick and stuff, but I haven't really had too many porters or stouts that were that thick, so.
Yeah, but I can see how it could be.
It's filling.
How you can get a thick one.
Yeah.
I can see how someone could make one that's super thick.
I haven't had Guinness in a very, very long time, but I think Guinness is really thick.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, it is and it isn't.
Ping pong ball in it or whatever.
Yeah, you can tell just by like the head on it. It's very thick. Like
yeah,
I know a couple people that drink Guinness and they like pour it in. It's really weird how they pour it. They pour it straight up and down, and they don't give two fucks about like tilting the glass or anything.
A lot of times you're supposed to do that. Like with certain beers, you're supposed to just dump it.
Well,
so. Like in the glass, not
not like that's not your final thoughts. Is dump it.
right. So, all right, man. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.